Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So I'm in the shower. I'm just dilly-dallying around. I looked, I was like, oh my God, it's time. How are you, ladies and gentlemen? I am doing well, just blessed and highly favored. And I always say we start the day with Thanksgiving. You know the song I sing in church a lot. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, hola Greta, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done. Whether you call your higher power God, I believe that it is vital that you have a point of reference, you have an anchor, because everything in this world is so unstable, uncertain, disappointing, hurtful, right? Good morning. For a long time, you've been to Panama, and it's just a good habit to get into. And I remember, I used to always say practicing thankfulness is just a good habit. And then I started hearing psychologists talking about the importance of gratefulness. So you start the day with a grateful heart, it sets you for the rest of the day. All right. So we have sweet potatoes today. I was able to find one thing of okra. So we're going to use that. No cabbage today. And, counting your blessings, yes. And so I figured we would do like sweet potato mash or puree. I think I'm gonna put it, use my mixer to make it nice and smooth. We spread it down first, and then I'm gonna cook the okra nahu, kayama nahu aki, and of course I don't like the harsh, mature one. I like the younger ones, but today I'm not cutting them. I'm going to cook them in the oven whole. We're gonna season, and then towards the end we're gonna dust them with some turmeric, and hopefully they'll keep their shape. We toss it. We're gonna sit on the bed of that sweet potato puree or mash, and then we are going to poach the tuna, which means slow cooking. Let's talk with that now, because it needs to cook really slow, and then you leave it in that oil. And poaching means slow cooking in an aromatic type of oil. Now, the challenge that I have today, I have this much olive oil left, and when you put it in, it needs to cover the fish. So I was thinking of all kind of ways. It's not a lot of fish. I only bought 1 pound of that fresh tuna. You know what I found? I was looking at a video that I took, and I'll tell you about that. I found one rude, I don't want to say rude Panamanian, but he just was not very polite at the fish market. But it was probably because I was filming. But, people get a little kind of ways when you're taking videos in a public place. It doesn't matter. I told you what happened to me in Africa. But, so I am going to, so I got 1 pound of fresh tuna. Oh, what I was going to tell you, the same place, I look at my videos, and then I saw something that said salmon. I'm like, they have salmon? Because I haven't been able to find fresh salmon. So I was like, salmon, oh, you mean I missed it? So next time I go to the market, I'm going to go back to that place, to that guy, and see if he's got the salmon. Ooh, because he was the one filleting the fresh tuna that is nice and deep red. So, and then when we were at that retreat, So he asked me, do they have a grouper here? I'm like, well, I have not seen grouper, certain kind of fish that we used to. Of course, they have lots of snapper, we know that. And then they have their covina, kingfish. I was never a kingfish person, so I don't know if they do or not. And then I found catfish. If you remember, I found catfish. But then mero, M-E-R-O, I believe. That's what, when I was at the retreat, there was that on the menu. And then we asked, and then it says grouper. I'm like, oh, we have grouper here? And then at that same place with that guy, I saw mero. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, pargo rojo is red snapper. And then they have pargo blanco también aquí. They have a white snapper here, which I haven't seen anywhere else. But I think mero, M-E-R-O, grouper. And then I saw that at the same place. So he had a tuna, he had salmon, and then he had mero. So next time I'm gonna make a beeline for him. So, all right. So what we're gonna try to do, let's just put that fish in that aromatic oil. Ooh, why is it not moving? Okay, there. All right. Now, when you're doing you're going to put that fish in that oil. You want to put all your good aromatics. You put your garlic, you put, I have romero, rosemary, I have thyme, and then I have all sorts of things here. And then you're gonna also add a couple of bay leaves, right? And then you put some fresh salt, pepper, and then you let it cook really slow. And that is what is going to flavor the fish. And you don't cook it a lot. As soon as it starts cooking, it's gonna kind of get whitish. You take it off the heat and you let it sit. And then that is supposed to, like I said, when I make this, when I poach fish, I usually do it with, for salad niçoise, because but it's a nice, piece of fish. You see that beautiful tuna? Yes, I love it. All right, a ver. So what I'm gonna do, because I want the fish to be submerged, so I'm going to slice it this way. When you watch the shows and you see how they are slicing the tuna, it's like in a reverent kind of way, right? Because you wanna see these. Remember, that's just trying in the tuna. I remember when I was working at Disney, it was the chef's job to cut the salmon, because he had to cut the salmon steak and they all had to be about the same size. And we used to have to weigh the size of whatever the portion size is. Beautiful. But I want to do all of it because I don't want to leave anything. But the pieces I'm looking for, these two, okay? That's what I'm gonna put on my dish. These are like stragglers, but they will pick. All right, so make sure those two are submerged. This one on the side. I'm gonna leave these on the side and then I'm gonna add them later, okay? So we're gonna put these over here. Now, we're gonna wash our board. I feel like I'm treating this board as if I had chicken on it. All right, let's see if we have enough oil to cover this atún. It's gonna take all my little olive oil. Oh yes, and we even have a little bit to spare. You have got to make sure the fish is submerged, okay? Now, let's do our aromatics. We're going to smash some garlic in here. I look in the fridge and I was like, ooh, I'm running out of garlic. You know, I'm still trying to get rid of leftover things from the party. So I want to be sure everything I'm cooking today is I have to buy, so it's not leftovers. How are you guys doing? Yeah, today is the Christmas parade, but you know what? I am not in the mood right now to go fight that crowd and the heat and sweating. And if you go later, you're not gonna find a spot to sit or even to stand. And then the good thing about this, once I finish poaching this, I get all that flavorful oil. And we're gonna try to make a small little dressing to put an emulsion to put on the fish. But you know, I need some kind of a sauce to put on it. So we'll see. All right, so we crush this garlic. Very good. And we're gonna put a couple of bay leaves. Yes. And we're gonna throw in there some romero twigs. Definitely, oh, I got some thyme. You see how I use my romero? It's almost done because I just use the lime, especially with any kind of meat. And then I told you I found the cilantro, it says culantro chino. I was like, I didn't know that was a Chinese herb. But I like that. Throw that in there. And some thyme. And usually you don't put any lemon, any acid in this potion. Okay? Because you're gonna do that in your sauce. All right, so we ready? We ready. Nice and slow. So I gotta watch the heat. When it starts to bubble a little bit, I let it there for like maybe a couple of minutes and then I take it off the heat. No need to cover. You can do that with duck, but of course you would do that for a lot longer because, you know, duck confit. Duck confit. So yesterday during the live, we talked a lot about cost and rent prices and food prices. Now this tuna was $3.50 a pound. And you know, we are in the holiday season, so prices definitely are going up for everything, okay? So I have the sweet potatoes in the oven. I did that before I went in the shower. All right. So now we're gonna go with the okra. Yeah. Play with your food. All right. Okra. There we go. So I'm gonna leave them whole, as I said. And you know, this thing of okra is $2.04 at Foodie, which is a really good price. You know, like raisins, if you buy them loose from the food place, it's really also very affordable. Ooh, this is a big daddy. Oh, you see they squeeze it in there with the little one. That's a big one. Of course, that's gonna take longer to cook. That's why I don't like them so big. And then they mix it. I'm like, why don't you just give people the big one if they want them and keep the young ones together? Nah, that would make more sense, right? I don't think I put any salt and pepper in this thing. I'm gonna put some salt and pepper. Alright, I'm smelling the sweet potato. Let me see if they're done. Nope. Not ready. Ooh. Turn this down. Slow cooking, baby. Not so harsh. So I turn the heat down. We're gonna season the okra really good. And towards the end, I'll dust it with the turmeric. And maybe some curry powder. Just to give it, I want a yellow. You know, you could do saffron but that's usually more expensive. Turmeric is better because it's better for you. All right. Okra is really a very healthy veggie. But all veggies are healthy, aren't they? Yes. Someone asked me about bok choy. Bok choy is abundant here in Panama because of the Chinese culture. Remember that. All right. So this is a different way of cooking okra that I'm experimenting with. This is what I mean when I say play with your food, right? Nice size fish. Yeah, it was nice. Guabina. ¿Qué es guabina? Pargo is snapper. Yes, I know. Marta, ¿qué es guabina? Is it a type of fish? I don't know. All right. Little bit of oil. Oh, I'm so glad I had enough left. And I decided I'm not gonna buy butter for a while. Just gonna give. All right. Oh, it smells so good. So now I'm gonna cover it. I'm gonna let it cook slowly. Because you know the best way I like to eat tuna also is seared. You know, like we used to go to, what's that restaurant? Not Carrabba's, something fish. What was that big restaurant? It was a chain, but they used to make a nice seared tuna, you know, with some wasabi and a nice sauce. Oof, muy bueno. What was that restaurant? I think it had something fish in the name, but I can't remember. All right, a little bit of dark soy. And put it with Worcestershire. That's balsamic vinegar. Ooh, look at that. It's a big one. Put a little bit. Yep. You know something else I like? I like sesame oil. But I'm not gonna put it in there. It's the flavor, not a good combo. All right, paprika, which is red pepper. And yes, a little bit of curry powder. Now we have no problems finding curry powder here because of the strong Jamaican influence. Remember that. Bit of here, parsley. Oh my goodness. That thing just opened. You know, I was watching a show and this lady, I mean, I think it wasn't just one person. They have these drawers and then they have all these spices in there. I was salivating. I said, I need something similar. But probably only if I built my own home, right? All right. Now, as soon as I see that the fish has changed color a little bit, we're gonna just let it sit in there. Ooh, that oil is gonna be gold, right? Martha, you didn't tell me what Gabina was. Okay. We put curry powder. I want to put herbe de Provence. I've been using that a lot because I love it so much. Pepper. Cumin. Comino. And I did tell you I found the cumin seeds, right? I found them. That we're going to use it. Comino. That we're going to use to make the dal. All right, so now we need garlic. And then some of the herbs. Ooh, that's all the garlic I have left. Comino. and definitely some thyme, and a little bit of acid to balance all these spices and the flavors. Ooh, I forgot to turn the AC on again. Beautiful. And sometimes, you know, somebody may think, oh, you're a slow cook. Yes, I am, because I don't rush. I feel like I want to enjoy the experience, right? Because to me, cooking is an experience that needs to be savored. So when you're rushing through everything you're doing, you're missing out. Yes. Little bit of cilantro. I absolutely love cilantro. You know, when I was making smoothies at the cafe, I had lots of recipes, which I still do, that you put cilantro or parsley in the smoothie. Yes. Just like you would put, you know, spinach. Of course, not at the same amount, because it's an herb. But we still put some of that in there. The most popular smoothie that we had, we called it skin tonic. But in the smoothie, I think what makes the smoothie is the base that you use, right? You know, I just boil some pineapple skin, peel. That is a good base. Fresh coconut water is a good base. But when we were doing our smoothies, we used a mango puree base. We bought it concentrated, and then we added water, and then that was. And the company that I use, they gave us a lot of the recipes, and then they sent you, you know, the ice cup. Everything was measured. It's like baking, you know. You can't. I mean, you can do ad lib, but it's not the same. You have to kind of, you know, like ice. You know, we had like an 8-ounce cup, because if you put too much ice in a smoothie, then it gets too thick, right? So you had to have the right size combination. And so I'm gonna just put some thyme like this. I don't need to spend the time. I don't like to chop thyme. I either do it whole in a bouquet, or I just do this. All right? Ooh, smells heavenly. I think that's enough. I don't put rosemary in my veggies. Look at that. And then we're going to squeeze some lime or lemon juice, whatever you have. I'm in the Americas, and lime is most abundant. So that's what I use. Yes. The stabilizer. Now, I did not put any salt. So, yep, need a little salt. And then we're gonna try to make a little sauce. I won't make it now, but when we're close to plating, now, like I said, this is a different way of cooking okra. If you don't want to have to fry it. I love fried okra though, but I don't fry. I don't have an air fryer, so I have to come up with alternatives, healthy alternatives. I want to lose all that goodness. I want to throw it away. All right. Right. Ooh, yes. Buenos dias. Okay, she did not respond. Let me look it up. guabina. Guabina. I'm thinking it might be a fish. And look at that, the okra lady. Oh my gosh, this is somebody's name. She calls herself the okra lady, and she's a gardener. She has a garden. I need to reach out to her. You know, I'm crazy about okra. Ah, so beautiful. LLC, she's in business. Everything looks amazing. Wow. She's got everything there. All right. Guabina. B-I-N-A. No. B. Nah. Guabina. Huh? Huh. Pestillo de carne suave y gustoso con cuerpo. Is it some kind of meat? Pez. It's not fish. Huh. They have different translation for it. Could be a dance, something in Colombia. Okay, I'm still in the dark as to what she meant by guabina. Your hair looks nice. Thank you. You know, I'm going to wash it, and then I was like, oh, let me just pick it because, you know, I put the, it is pre-wash right now. I put that rosemary oil in it, in my scalp. I do that prior to washing, and then that's what I use. So now I don't use any kind of hair grease or anything. I just have that herb oil. I use coconut oil, and then I put some bay leaves and then rosemary, fresh rosemary. Let it seep very slow, and then I strain it, put it in a little bottle, and that's what I use in my hair. It is so nice. So now, and then I don't have to worry about moisturizer. I do have moisturizers after I wash, but you know, the cream and stuff, the treatment you used to do for your scalp, that's what I do now. I don't have to buy any of that stuff. See? Everything we need, God has already provided. Yeah. But there's a sister in Tanzania, and no, I think she was in Kenya before, and she was talking about the importance of going in the interior and growing your own food. You know, a lot of people have said that. I think it would be nice to have a little plot of land and you have some chickens, although I wouldn't be able to kill them. I can't kill a chicken. And then you can grow things, you know, corn, all veggies, and then you can live off the land, because I can pick up any leaves and then you slice it, you cook it, and then you add a little salt, pepper, a little acid, and you're good. And you're good. You don't have to, you're not gonna starve. And then in the ground, you're gonna have potatoes, sweet potatoes and yam. What else do you need? Now, if somebody kills a cow and gives me a little meat and I need some protein, I'll consider it. But I can't wring the chicken's neck. You know, I had a pet rooster. I can't kill it. Oh, I'm such a wuss. I am, and proud of it. I tell you, I feel like I'm moving a lot slower these days. It takes me a lot longer to get things done. But I guess that's part of growing older, right? Our movements are more measured. We need more recovery after we do something. I have a rule that I try not to do more than one outing a day. So if I'm going to the store, I like to do that, and then after that, I'm home, right? Then I can go for a walk, or I can go to the gym, or I work on the computer a lot, and I have to make myself get off. Like last night, I was in the process. I've been doing a lot of lives because I'm doing that Vlogmas, trying to post something every day. Like today, it is a live, but it is part of my. This is day, I can't remember, 11th Vlogmas until Christmas, and I'm going to continue till the end of the year. But I was doing something, you have to do thumbnail. It's a lot of work doing this YouTube thing. People don't realize that. And I needed to make sure, because when I do a live, it just shows the regular picture. It doesn't show anything about the live. So I have to go, take a screenshot of the live or something close, and then make a thumbnail out of it. Then you have to add it to the page of that particular video. And I was in the middle of doing it, and around, I'm in now, but recently I noticed, like, between 12 and 1, this is the time when I'm getting really sleepy. And I really should stop and go to sleep, but no, I have to finish what I started. So I was like, and then finally, by the time I went to bed, it was close to 3. It's terrible. And then I was supposed to work with the sister at 6:30. And I woke up, it was 7. I missed the appointment. So it was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. But, my body said, no, you need more than 3 hours of sleep. And, I don't require a lot of sleep. My average is like 4 or 5 hours. I know it's not enough, but I have been able to survive on 4 and 5 hours. If I'm in the bed after I've slept for like, I can't even remember the last time I had 8 hours of sleep uninterrupted. And then it's like my body aches. It's just too much time in the bed. Yeah. So, I apologize profusely, but, hopefully she understands. She said, oh, that's all right. We're not going to go anywhere. That was the first time I was going to walk with her too. One of my cluster sisters. That's terrible. But at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, I'm older, so I give myself grace, okay? And another thing I live by, I'm going to put that little fish back in the fridge because I don't want that to go bad. That is gold right here. As you get older, you realize that your life is changing a little bit, your body is changing a little bit, your endurance. I remember I used to go in my yard and I would spend the whole day pulling weeds, planting, replanting. I used to love to do the edges, with the little machine and all that. I used to be in there for like 8, 9 hours. Listen, yes, I've been busy, sis. Now, well, I don't do any of that now, but before I came to Panama, I would go in the yard, and you go down, it's hard for you to get back up, and you bend and your back hurts. It's like times are changing. So when I was doing I was prepping for the Friendsgiving, and I know it was going to be a bit challenging because it's just me, and I cook everything. And you don't have a car to say, I'm going to go to Sam's Club and buy a bunch of things. Or I'm going to go to this store and buy. No, because, that was still me and my backpack and my bag. So sometimes, and I had my list, So I was like, okay, I can get that here because, in Panama, where you can get certain items because you're not going to find it all in one place. No. So I will be making 2 or 3 trips a day. And my body talks to me. When I reach that, it's funny, I'd be going, and then something, goes off in my brain that says, okay, you've reached your limit. But, of course, I always go beyond that. And then it's like, oh, the next day. So I know myself, but I know if I start something, I will not stop until it's done, which is no bueno. Yeah, one outing, get home, And I remember I used to be like that at home too. Like if I had a list, I might spend hours going from one store to the other, getting this. But once I'm home and I take my clothes off, wash my face, I'm done. I can't get dressed again to go somewhere. And that's why if I had a long day and then someone say, oh, let's go out to dinner, it's like, no, that's another getting ready, too much energy. So know yourself, sis, and take the rest that you need. You know, we're so conditioned to just go, 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 go. It's like, yeah, I can finish it tomorrow. That's what we need to do, right? Yes. Because it will be here, that obsessive personality that we have to do multitask. And I told you, I read somewhere that this doctor says when you're multitasking, you're sending multiple signals to your brain. It's not good. Buenos dias, Mala. Yeah, it's not good. Ooh, yes. The fish looks beautiful. But you know, it does look a little pale when you put it under whatever you're cooking it, you're serving it with. And it's supposed to be. I'm just tasting the oil to see if it's got enough salt. Definitely not enough. All right. Let it keep sitting in there. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Yes. So now I did not do herb oil because that's going to be my herb oil. Yes. It's a little better. You know, what we might want to do when we're serving it, we just probably put a little bit of sea salt on it. Yeah, so now this coming week, I'm going to interview a sister who was admitted to this mini-med hospital, and I need to find out, you know, how it is. Is it like a regular hospital? Because people want to know, and I want to know. For the next couple of weeks, you know, Christmas is the following week, and I don't do a whole lot for Christmas, but I was talking to one of my Spanish students. She's a friend too. She just moved here a week or so ago, so I know she doesn't know anybody here, and well, she knows a couple of people. So I said, well, how about we get together for Christmas? You see, I'm getting myself again. So my tradition at home for Christmas, what we did, I used to make 2 frittatas. And frittatas are like little quiches without the crust. Of course, they are egg-based. So it was almost like a Christmas brunch. So I would have the frittatas, a slice of frittata, fresh fruit. What else would we put on there? You know, when my kids were at home, maybe some sausages or bacon, but I don't use that anymore here. So it's probably going to be just frittata and fresh fruit. And maybe I'll get some little pastries. I'm not making them. You know, I can get maybe a mix of small empanadas because we don't have any crust with the frittatas. And sometimes I'll slice some potatoes or sweet potatoes or shredded potatoes and use that at the bottom. And then fresh fruit. Yeah, and then that's it. And then maybe do like a little mimosa. I have Prosecco here. We just throw it into with some orange juice and have mimosa. Yes, so that should be good. I could also do like a fresh little salad to kind of warm the palate, you know, like some cherry tomatoes, arugula, and pepino, which is abundant here, which is cucumbers. That would be good for Christmas. And then that's it. It's not anything I'm gonna be doing a lot of cooking, but we're having a SWRA meeting It's not a general meeting. It's a meeting for our cluster captain, the sisters who have volunteered to do the lead for their little clusters, a smaller group within SWRA. And we're gonna have a luncheon at our favorite place, and then just gonna iron out what we're gonna be doing in the future and the purpose of the clusters. And so the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be strategizing in my head where we want SWRA to be as we move forward. Next March is going to be 2 years. So we still need to solidify what the group is, what is our purpose and vision. Because I can see in the future where we will need to consider some housing opportunities for sisters who may feel the need to be in a more intimate setting with support so that they don't feel, alone. But definitely the medical insurance situation for older expat is a concern for most of us. And that's what I'm in the middle of doing, filling out an application for a different insurance plan. Oh, yes, we are done now. All right. So we're gonna let our sweet potato cool off. I only have 2. I had 3. There was a chiquito. I ate it yesterday. What did I put on it? I put a little honey and cinnamon. I have ackee and codfish. Ooh, girl, stop it. Yes, yum. I wish I could have ackee. I bought a couple of cans in my suitcase, but that's what I need to ask the sister. She said, send me your list, what you want, because she went home. They should have it in California somewhere, right? Callaloo. I don't know if we have that here. We don't have greens per se in Panama, but like I said, I did find kale, and we do have spinach, and we have Swiss chard. That's the extent of the greens. We don't have collards here or mustard. But there is a guy who owns a restaurant called Daiquiri 23. They were interviewing him, and he said he found somebody who has land and is willing to grow collards for him. And I'm like, ooh, you're going to have lots of customers because, all these Americans, they want their greens. And smoked turkeys, not something I see here. So they're going to have to think about, alternatives to that. Yes, so we'll be thinking about strategizing about SWRA. We're still going to have a monthly meetup. So when people, third Thursday of every month, we have a meeting, a gathering. The locale might change because we were outgrowing the place where we were at. So, and that's not easy to find here in Panama, especially if they want you to rent the place and then you have to pay money. And I'm like, oh. So we look at that. We're going to try to throw in there a few short trips, even though I learned a lot from this last trips, and we're going to arrange it differently so people's expectations are not, because let me tell you, organizing a trip for a group of older women is not the same as organizing a trip for some young people, because they have their expectations of comfort, and you better not mess that up. So that's where we at. Let's see. I can get some tea. I inherited some tea from our retreat. All right, so we're going to get these potatoes peeled. They're probably really hot now. And with the okra, I'm going to throw a little bit of broth, veggie broth, so that they're not sticky, so that when I'm trying to move them, I don't want them to fall apart. I'm keeping an eye on them because I don't want them to, you know how okra can, we don't want that. We want them to stay whole. So, all right, let us see. Happy birthday, happy birthday to you. All right, let us see. Ooh, how beautiful. How beautiful. Ooh. You know, when you got sweet potatoes, remember they tend to be stringy, so it's good to blend them so that you can get rid of the strings. Okay? Now, you know, if you look comparing sweet potatoes from regular potatoes, sweet potatoes win. So, if you love potatoes, have some sweet potatoes. It's a lot healthier. But I had to go to Foody's to get this sweet potato because the sweet potatoes here are different, I told you. They're white. Even though I love boniato from the Caribbean, I love boniato, especially when you pop it in the microwave and then you put a little butter on top. Woo, yes. But I know it's not carb friendly, so we're gonna let it stay here and yeah, more strings. Ooh, right. Ooh. Muy bien. What I like about sweet potato is that you really don't have to put anything in it. You don't have to season it. I mean, if you want, you could put a little butter, but I don't have butter right now. But you really don't need anything because it is sweet, it's savory, very good. Yes, I love Archean codfish. And listen, we do have salt fish here. You know, for the holiday, for my event, I was gonna make pate, but what I even unsalted, you know, soaked the salt fish and everything, and then I was like, oh, I'm just too tired, so I didn't do one. But if you go to San Felipe, I still have salt fish, codfish. And you know, when I was growing up, we would cook it with onion, tomatoes, peppers, and you would put it on top of a corn mash, not mash, but we cook corn with onions, garlic, and tomatoes, and then you cook it like grits, and then you beat it and release the gluten, and it's nice and moist, and Oh, so good. And then you put that codfish on top and a couple of slices of avocado. Man, okay. I guess I need to do that for you one day. Let me do that with this, and then you'll see. That's our version of shrimp and grits, or fish and grits. And it was pretty decent. I don't remember. It's like per pound. I don't remember. I think I paid $7 for 2 of these. In the state, that's a lot more expensive. We know that. But you have to soak it, change the water a couple of times, and then boil it the day of cooking. But then I'm thinking, if I'm boiling this fish, I'm getting rid of all the good stuff. So I don't think it's that healthy. It's just a good accompaniment, you know. And then if I shred the fish with the peppers and onion and garlic, I could use that as a filling for like empanada. So when you get an empanada and they say, what do they call it again? With the what do you call the salt fish in Spanish? No, Maduro's is sweet plantains. It will come to me. But you can use it and put it inside a empanada as a filling. I can think of the name. All right, let us find some broth. Do I have any broth to put with the okra? Because you know our fish is done. And then I have to make an emulsion, like a little sauce to put on top of it. Let's see if that's my vegetable broth. Yep. All right. Woo. All right, so I'm going to put a little broth. Because I don't want the okra. Like I said, the kitchen is my laboratory. You play with it. It's just like doing chemistry, right? So I'm gonna taste a little one, to make sure that they are cooked. It's good, but it needs a little seasoning. I don't think I put some adobo. And then we're gonna put turmeric. Oh wow, that is good. Let's put that away. See, I didn't need a whole lot of that. That's why you should always have veggie broth. You don't need chicken broth. That selfish just look. It does, doesn't it? I soak it overnight as well. Then I'll boil, yeah, because you got to get rid of that salt. It's really salty. All right, we're doing some, and then, yeah, and we can find that here easy. So, you know, I was like, yes. And then when you go to San Felipe, they have a whole section with just herbs, you know, and honey. And so I go there, I'm like, do you have this? Do you have that? Si, senora. Si, senora. No, senora. Oh, yes. All right, ladies, a different way of cooking your okra, okay? That is not fried. All right, so now my fish is ready. So I'm gonna do the mash. Maybe do the, yeah, let's do the mash, okay? Because I'm gonna need this thing to do the 1 egg yolk. I'm gonna need 1 egg yolk, a little bit of that oil, and then some honey Dijon mustard to do like a little sauce. And then we're gonna sprinkle some cilantro on top, and maybe a couple of slices of lime, and then we're done. Fish and grits, but I'm saying, yeah, but instead of grits, it's gonna be corn, right? So you do the corn, you do put a little cream in there, and you beat it, and then you do the fish and you put it on top. So that's kind of a version of shrimp and grits or fish and grits. So let's do that next week, since we have we already have the fish. All right. Smells so good. You see the strings? They've been ripped. All right. Yes. Yep. Well, you say you're ready. I say you're ready. All right. Let's. Okay. And I refuse to buy another plate. Okay. I don't have room. So we're gonna have to use what we have. We're gonna use this one. Happy birthday. You know, that was 2 sweet potatoes, and I think that's plenty. Now you notice I didn't put anything in this sweet potato. No salt, no pepper, nada, nada. I think that's good. I'm gonna have to put the rest. That's a lot. You know, sometimes the chefs would be plating and they do, but that's not enough. That's why I'm like, don't try to impress me with you give you a little piece of thing on the plate. And I'm like, no. All right. So now the rest of the sweet potato, I'm going to save. That's why somebody said, well, you're just a general cook. You're not a chef. I said, you know what? You can call me whatever you want, because I am not impressed with edible flowers and using little tongs to put little cute, see little thing on food. Give me food that tastes good, and then you plate it a little bit nice, and I'm good. Because when I see the places that got the Michelin and all that, and I see how they, you know, the thing that impressed the culinary world, that doesn't impress me. If you're gonna cook food, make sure it tastes good. I don't want it to be weird. Nope. All right. Back here. I'm gonna rinse it because I'm gonna need this. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, when I came here, I bought this cheap little thing because I'm not a baker. I'm not baking cakes with flour all the time. I can't have sugar, no. So, but I do need it sometimes, so it works. It meets my needs. All right, I have 1 egg because we're gonna need 1 egg yolk to make our sauce. So we're gonna leave that here. And we're gonna add our, where's my spatula? Happy birthday to you. And we're just gonna lay our okra down. Oh. Play with your food. You don't have to cook the same thing. And you know it was in the oven, so you know it's not fried, you know it's good for you. Experiment. Let your kitchen be your laboratory. I know it's mine. All right. Then we're gonna put our fish. So because the fish has been soaking in that oil, I think a little bit of that oil is good because it's seasoned oil, right? All right, let's make room for the fish. Muévete. Okay. So this is poached tuna, you guys, which would be the same fish you would use for the salad niçoise. So it's fish that has been cooked slowly in a herb oil. So when you poach fish, then you automatically get herb oil, right? Yes. And of course you don't want the fish to be overcooked. So I'm gonna put it like this. Wow. And so, let's see. Oh my God. That tastes so good. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Wow. You can't go wrong with herbs, I'm telling you. Throw your Maggies and little powders out the window. You know that's a pet peeve of mine, right? I think you're good. Now it might take a little longer because corvina is a thicker fish. I would do that with corvina, yes. All right, so I'm gonna try to do a little emulsion, getting rid of the egg white. We only need the yolk. Because you know, when you make, when I had to make mayonnaise in culinary school, it's egg yolk and oil. And you beat it and you beat it and it gives you the consistency of mayo. Did you know that? Yep. So one egg yolk. And then I'm going to beat it and then I'm going to introduce a little bit of this oil. Start beating egg yolk, it changes color on you. add a little bit of Dijon mustard and maybe squeeze some lime juice. Where's my Dijon? I use this a lot. Time to get some more. Time to make the donuts. That looks so good. OMG. Wow. All right. So we have what we call our emulsion, and I'm going to cut up some cilantro. Chop it in here. If you have parsley, you can do that. Just going to add a little freshness to it. You know, I like to use basil also in something like this. So if you could chiffonade, but not with this. Wow. Play with your food, folks. Play with your food. Whew, I have to get busy with that cookbook. And like I say, I'm dilly-dallying. But I like to dilly-dally. You know, it's my time to relax. I don't need to be stressing myself out. Right? All right, here's our fish. Oh my God, here's our dish, I should say. Come on, write it down so they can see. Okay. All right. So now we have our what we call emulsion. Wow. All right, let me taste it. Put a little salt. No mucho. And I'm afraid to squeeze some lemon juice in there. Let's see, there is no milky thing. Okay, it should be okay. I'm gonna slice 2 slices of lemon that we're going to use as decoration. Need a knife with teeth, a serrated knife. 1. 2. We're gonna decorate with that and with some cilantro. Never put like a big old twig of rosemary as decoration. It's just not pretty, okay? Okay. Now, so you're gonna get all that yellow color. Ooh. Ooh. And of course you needed that because you don't want your food to be, you know, too dry. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit around. Si, senor. Si, si, si. Ooh. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And I told you that's the only place where I can be creative, right? I don't sew, I don't paint, I don't carve, I don't do any of that. But when I'm in the kitchen, watch out. You never know what you're gonna come up with, what I'm gonna come up with. He said, that Maggie is crazy. Yes, she is. She loves her cooking. Alrighty. Voila, 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 voila. This is our dish. Sweet potato mash, poached tuna, and turmeric dusted okra. How much would you pay for this at a restaurant? Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. Now this poached tuna or any poached fish, I told you can poach anything. You can poach, we usually poach duck, you can poach chicken, you can poach any kind of fish. All right? And then you know you made it at home. You know it's healthy and good for you. Then you inherit this herb oil that you can use for anything else. You know, salad, put a little bit, put some red wine vinegar and a little bit of Dijon, shake it, add some, you know, some parsley or whatever, and that goes on your salad. Listen, play with your food. Don't feel like restrained that you don't know what to do, but you have to enjoy it, right? Because some people are like, nope, okay, I can't encourage you to love to cook. You either do or you don't. And no judgment, sis, no judgment. I just like it. And like I say, it's therapy for me. When I'm in the kitchen, I can't play any music for you, but I would have the music blaring here. And it's whatever it is, salsa. I love classical music. Now we're in the cantata season. I love it all. All right. So here, 1:18, 1 hour and 18 minutes. We did good today. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I don't know if I'm going to dig into this or not. All right. Have a good day. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just because I like it, right? And then I did go to school. So I got training in terms of flavors and balancing, food safety. Yes. Yes. I did go to Cordon Bleu. So my background in cooking is the French cooking. That's why I don't cook Asian, because I'm not saying I don't like Asian food, but it's not a specialty of mine. All right? All right. Have a good day. Thank you guys for joining me. God loves you. You know I love you. Bye.